For the
to chicken.
low. That's funny. Would they be having the cool colored eggs too? Like they got some green ones and some brown ones and everything.
Green eggs and ham?
And all that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Sam, I am. But Sam, I won't actually. Ooh.
Sam, I will.
That was
But yeah,
fun.
man, say that was the time. It's crazy in the past 5 years we've seen like eggs and toilet paper become like the hottest commodities at
Yeah.
the grocery store.
Well, yeah, tough economic times. It's just the basics. You know, it's like
Yeah,
why
I
do
mean,
people wait in line for hours to get bread? You know, in Soviet Union or Russia,
Dude.
because that's what
I'm
matters.
telling you,
Facts.
man. You don't realize, like I said, how much you use eggs and stuff like that until a crisis happens.
Until they're $7 a dozen.
Yeah, you're like, man, we was really eating eggs like that,
Yeah.
man. I only ate half the omelet. That's a whole egg I threw away.
I used to throw eggs in my neighbor's house.
Yo,
What was I thinking?
dude, that's so fun. I do remember like egging people's houses.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Dude, I remember I think the funniest thing I ever did, or like, I don't know if it's funny, but like teenage stuff, we would fork people's houses.
Oh, stick forks in their
Yeah.
yard.
Yes, we stick forks in their yards, so they'd have to go out there and like take them up, because they couldn't like mow their lawn or mess up their
Yeah.
lawn. I remember one time it was so funny. We did it to, I had to have been like a junior in high school, and it was me and like three of my friends, and where we were staying at my homie's neighborhood. My ex stayed in that neighborhood, and you know how your kids like we all were still like kind of friends, but not friends because it's your ex. And there, I remember we went and like forked her yard. This is like 2012, maybe 2013. So cameras were like just starting to get big in everyone's house. You know what I'm saying? Or like security cameras. So her mom caught us, came to my friend's place the next day while we're all still there, and was like, y'all need to come take us out, and I'm calling your parents. So she talked to his parents immediately. She had to get my parents' number. What I did was give her my older brother's number.
Nice.
Oh goodness.
Because I'm not finna get in trouble for this. And, it was mad funny, but yeah, she'll know this if she ever sees this. But I mean,
She'll know now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was not your dad.
it's my older brother. But he's a dad now, so I mean, you talk.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure my kitchen don't look a mess, but it look normal.
Now you good, bro.
Now you're good.
Because I was
We've been
trying to get
recording all
it.
this,
Well,
too.
I was trying to get it at angle over here. Because hold on, let me see. I'll show you. So I have like a bunch of stuff over here. So I was trying to.
What is this?
So this right here, this picture right here, this is Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Can
And
you?
then I got my little
can
Sonic
you maybe-
collection over
Can
here.
you go in it with the camera at all? And
I can. I think so.
don't do it if it's gonna mess up your setup.
I mean, I got like a little tripod I could probably maneuver.
Oh
that I
no,
can
you're cool.
kinda-
Just maybe send us pictures later. We'll edit it in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah,
Right.
so cool. So like, we've kind of been talking for a little bit, so we'll get the formal introductions out the way. Welcome to
Yep.
Connecting Content. Usually I'm behind the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Vontae Galaxy. It's great to be here. Brian, you're one of your main hosts. Give it up for Brian.
Hey, everybody.
Our guest here today is, the legendary guy. He is the winner of our first ever plugged in tournament at ATX.
Good work, Dre.
K-Town killer for real, for show. Give it up for Dre.
Hey,
You know
hold
what I'm
on now.
saying?
Hold on now.
We got real
Hey,
killers
that-
out there in Decay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you ain't lying.
But yeah, man, glad to have you on. It was great to have you at the last video game tournament we had, which is the first one we had too. But yeah, man, I knew when we put everything out, it was like you and my friend Dev, who was also there, were like, "Hey, let me know," because y'all was ready. So it was interesting to see you pull up, man. Because video games are very interesting to me. I can't lie. I play more fighting games when I do play it, but I didn't play Street Fighter that much. I was more of a Mortal Kombat guy, but very
Same.
interesting.
Yeah. Same. Dre? What is your history with gaming? I mean, is it started as a kid and you just had a passion for it ever since?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you when I started actually. Well, I got a little funny story. I don't know how old I was, but we used to have a Sega Genesis. And I
Oh, yeah?
remember we were
Had that
playing Lion King because we had Lion King on it.
Mm.
And I remember that they did. I don't think they had a game in there. I think it was just empty. They had the little cartridges that you slot in. So I
Right.
end up putting a quarter in there and messing the whole console up. So
Oh no! Why'd
yeah,
you put
so
a quarter in there?
I don't know. I thought it was a slot, man. I'm like, I don't even know how old I was at the time, but yeah, I
Oh.
thought that was pretty funny. And then just ever since, Like I've always been. I don't know what got me into it. I couldn't tell you that, but I just know it just kind of just stuck with me for
Yeah.
so many years. Like it's pretty
But
much
since a young age, you've been
yeah,
gaming. What is your
yeah.
evolution? Talk about your evolution in the gaming world and consoles. What you started with the Sega, then what'd you go to after PS1?
So I would. I'm gonna run down the list that I know I had for sure. So yeah, I had Sega Genesis. I've had a Super Nintendo,
And maybe
PlayStation
give me a
1.
couple games that you played on each system, like
Ooh,
your favorites for those
a couple
systems.
games.
Yeah.
So Genesis, like I said, the only game I remember that we had was Lion King. So that was it. But
Okay.
I mean, I've went back and played the older Sonic games, so that's
Yeah.
how I got, fell in love
I,
with Sonic.
I
Super
think Crash was
Nintendo.
my game.
Crash is that's the OG. Super Nintendo, probably Secret of Mana, Super Metroid,
Ooh.
Super Mario Bros. I mean, typical stuff like that.
Bond?
I don't think I played that one. I don't think I played that one
Bond
at
was
all.
Bond was the best.
PS1. God, I mean, I would probably say what Final Fantasy 7, the old GTA 1 and 2.
Man.
Oh, okay.
What's some other good PlayStation game? I played a lot of RPGs on like PlayStation because that's what Sony's known for. Now, PS2, I
RPGs.
mean PS2.
I'm
This is what I call like my black person era. This is like the evolution for every black person. So you play Def Jam, Need for Speed, you play NFL, NBA Street. This is where
Man.
this is like the evolution where you play all the sports games, all the racing games. Fight Night. All that stuff. And then obviously I played, some of the, OGs like, Crash, Spyro, a lot of older RPGs like Final Fantasy X, like all that. But I'm just, in a black household, those were like the staples because everybody was playing them.
Dude,
And then, like I said,
Def Jam's great.
and then after that, I kind of stuck with Sony for a bit. So, I went from PS3, PS4, and then I don't know how big you are into gaming, but around the time PS3 had like a big outage, it was like for a couple months. Because I remember, because it happened around my birthday. I had got, I think it was Mortal Kombat 9. I had got Mortal Kombat 9 and I had got
Whoa.
SOCOM.
Mortal Kombat
And
9?
yeah.
Jeez.
So
They're
I
up
got
that
Mortal
high.
Kombat 9. Yeah, I got Mortal Kombat 9 and then
Oh,
SOCOM. And I was trying to play it online, but then I guess somebody had hacked the servers. So around that time, I was kind of upset. So then that's when I went and get an Xbox 360. And then from there, that's when I already knew about like Halo and Gears of War and all that because I had people that, that had them. And then, in high school, everybody apparently had an Xbox 360. I was like
That's
one of the
kind
few
of-
people that had a PS3. So everybody was playing Call of Duty and Gears and Halo on there. So then once I switched to 360 and realized how many, of my classmates had a 360, I kind of just stuck with it all through high school. And then from there, I kind of skipped the Xbox One. I didn't really get one. And then I think after kind of towards my senior year of high school, which was back in 2011, 2012, I got introduced to World of Warcraft, and then that changed. That changed everything because I didn't realize
console
like
was that on?
that was on PC, but I had like a little laptop because I had one friend, his whole family, one of my childhood friends, his whole family played it. Like his
Oh, wow.
dad and his
for real?
sister, they all played it. So he was always playing it when I went to go hang out with him. So I got introduced to that because it looked cool. So then I got my laptop and played it. And then that's when I kind of got into PC. And I've kind of been with PC ever since. Like I built my first PC years ago. And then the one I have now, this is probably my third build. And probably gonna be my final build for a while because them prices are
Yeah.
AI shooting everything up.
What do
But
you
then,
got
yeah,
in your
from there-
PC?
I have a RTX 3080. So I've had this build for about 4.5 years now.
RTX 38, that's your GPU?
Yeah. And then my
What,
CPU is I think Ryzen 7 5800X.
Okay. And your
So I
your
just
board?
recently got that. My motherboard, I think it's a little MSI motherboard. I've had this one for a while. I don't know exactly what model it is, but I've had that for a while. And then I got two SSDs in there. and then I have 2 hard drives that I kind of just pass around through all my PCs because I mean I still believe in hard drives until they fell on me. I'm gonna keep them. Um,
Hey, we need
but
hard
yeah, I
drives.
kind of, but yeah, but like I kind of just been stuck with PC. PC's probably like my number one as of right now. Like I said, and then I had a PS4, played the mess out of it, went to the midnight release of the PS4. I've spent a lot of money trying to get that. And then same with the PS5, I went and did that. I had the PS5 for a good while, and then that's when I
Did
kind
you
of went
get
back to
the
PC.
PS5 before, like, because I remember that was during like when Corona was still like major in
Oh
effect.
yeah, nah. I spent the bread on it. Nah, I
Man,
got it. Like me and my homeboy waited out there, and then we made sure we went to the midnight release and got it because we wanted to be the first few people to have it. Same with the PS4, because you know how like you get it early, everybody be jealous and stuff. So we went ahead and did it. And like I said, I'm glad I did that because COVID and stuff had happened, and then, prices and stuff was skyrocketing on
I
it. So I'm
remember
kind
we
of
had
glad I did that.
to go to get my cousin one. Me and my dad had to meet some guy at the police station. He'd only meet us there. But it's smart though.
Oh yeah,
Because
oh
like
yeah,
if
nah,
you're serious about trying to get it, then like you won't rob me at the police station. You won't do anything because there's
yeah,
cops and thing everywhere. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's
nah,
pretty
yeah.
normal.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah,
people were
yeah.
people were flipping them because, like I said, they end up selling out. So people were flipping them and trying to make their bread. And obviously, with COVID times, I mean, everybody needed the money. 'Cause, a lot of people
So
weren't
people
working
are
and stuff.
showing up to sell their gaming system and they were getting robbed.
Yeah, but I mean, same
Yeah,
thing we used to do for like shoes and stuff like that. Like, because the
yeah,
Switch, similar things were happening around the time. Because the Switch had only been out
mm,
for like maybe a couple years. Like, people were playing it, but
Uh-huh.
when everyone was home, people were just trying to game more. Like, at least in my
yeah,
opinion, like
Ah.
when everyone was home, gaming's always been a big thing, but it took off so much. To, I
Yeah.
think more of
yeah,
like a
yeah.
everyman thing.
COVID
Mhm.
definitely elevated it. That's why, yeah, everybody was just at home. They had nothing better to do, so that's why couldn't find PS5s. You couldn't find Nintendo Switches and Xboxes and stuff. So yeah, that's why a lot of people were buying multiples because like even my stepdad at the time, he had multiples and he was trying to flip them. But then
Ah.
I told him, I said, ain't nobody gonna fall for that. I said, you might get one person, but and then obviously around Christmas time, every the parents are trying to get their
Mhm.
consoles for their kids, and if it's extinct, it's kind of difficult. You kind of have to bite the bullet, to make sure your kids have a good Christmas. So
You hope everyone gets that's the gift everyone's got to share. Like you give one
yeah,
kid the controller, you give one kid the game, and y'all both got to share the
yeah,
console so everyone's happy.
Ah.
I mean, I've seen it happen
yeah.
many times,
Oh yeah,
especially
nah,
I'm
it
an only
definitely
child.
not. Well, it didn't happen for me growing up. It didn't happen too much for me because I was really the only gamer. It wasn't until maybe about high school where my little brother kind of got into it. So we had to share rooms, and then I think he had an Xbox 360, and I think that's when I had the PS2. I think I had the PS2, the GameCube, and I think I might have had a PS3. And we had one TV sharing the room, so we had to designate times. But as me and big brother, I took over most of the
That's
time. You know
good.
what I'm saying? So
Oh man.
So speaking of that, speaking of contests, so what has been
but,
like your transition from like playing games in your room? Because I remember growing up when
mhm,
Xbox Live was a big thing. So that was you're talking about like Gears of War. Hell, that was like I would say like my biggest era of game when I would
yeah,
had the chair and everything. So I think Xbox Live brought the community, and I think that's one thing that gaming has always been good about. Like once again, connecting everyone as a community. When did you start? Or when did you? I bet when you're at the house, let me rephrase that, and you're beating everyone that comes to your house. You're beating all your friends. You go to their houses.
mhm,
When were you like, hey, I got to find some real competition? When you start like professionally gaming, doing the contests and everything like that? Because
ooh
and
wee,
before you say that, I want to tell people this. So he won our contest, and we've sent photos. My cousins, my brothers have all been like, "Hey, bro, we knew he was gonna win when we saw like the joystick controller." They even was saying he won't do that to me with a regular joystick. I said no. He played with the regular joystick first, and he was still watching folks. But
yeah, like yeah,
I'm
I
glad.
can. I just don't. I don't like the pad. Like the only game that I would use a regular controller for is Mortal Kombat. That's the only one. And the only reason why is
Mhm.
because they have that dedicated block button. That's the only game. Other and I,
Oh.
and I guess Tekken. I guess Tekken I can do it too. But I just prefer to use
Do you
use my
have
hitbox and everything.
that on you? Is it
Yeah. Oh yeah.
within arm
It's
reach?
over here.
Let's see
Yeah,
it.
it's over here. Yeah, I used to have two, but then I downsized, so I just got this one. Let me see. Yeah, because it's in a
Okay.
special bag, and then
Yeah.
As somebody who's not, I haven't been a gamer since I was a kid, but why do you bring your own controller? What's the advantage?
So I tell people like when I pull this out, people start freaking out. Unless you like obviously play fight games or you've been to like a a local or regional or a major tournament. It's just one, I don't like using other people's stuff. So like that's one thing. Like it's not like I'm gonna damage it or anything, but not everybody controller is the same. So like, once you like it's kinda like when you have your own thing, like it's kinda like driving somebody else's car. Like it feels weird no matter how good or new it is, but it's like it's not your car.
I got it.
So it's like one of those things. Yeah,
that would make sense. Like it gets your like reflex time, and it's like a phone or a piano or anything.
Yeah,
where you don't even have to look at it once you know where the buttons are.
Yeah, and it's like yours. Reflex. Like the feel of it. You know how it is.
Right.
Like if this button is messed up or this other button's messed up, and you just like it has like I'll say your juices on it. Like it's like your controller.
That's cool.
What? But not like that, but like kind of like that, like
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you had like let's say like Tay will know, like so you growing up and like you have the good controller and then you get like the bad controller to your friends, like you have like the legit. It's kind of like one of those things.
It's my controller.
Yeah, people used to do that.
The bad controller.
Yeah, it's like
like you get the player 1 controller and then they get the player 2 controller, and it could be either.
Yeah.
It can either be a real controller or it could be like a Mad Cats at the time was like the go-to, and those controllers are like $20-$30. So obviously parents will buy them because they're cheaper and they save money. But then that's what you give to like your little cousin so he don't mess up your controller. Okay. And then if you want to play with him, you have the legit controller while he got the little off-brand controller. Right. So
my
it's just
brother
one of those things.
Was obsessed like with his controller. He didn't want anybody else to use it, and if you touched it, he was like, "You need to wipe it down."
Yeah, I'm kind of like that.
It's like, don't touch it. Did you like breathe on it? You need to clean. Like he was weird about his controller.
Oh yeah, and then like how I would do it is like to like know it was kind of mine. I would just get like colored controllers. So like with the PS5, they have the different colors. Like you got the base white one, and then they got a bunch of colors now. But like same with like PS2, like I would like think I had the base PS2 and then I had the slim PS2 and it was silver. And I got the silver controller and I always knew that it was my controller and everybody else would either get the black or whatever other colors they got so that I would know. Now I don't care as much because it's not really, people ain't really coming over. And like, when we do, like we usually play fighting games. So like my homeboys, they're just like me. They got their own controllers and stuff that they bring. Oh, okay. So we usually don't do that. It's really just me and my significant other and then we just use whatever. But she ain't really no gamer, so like I don't have to really worry about her messing it up too much because she's not gonna use it as much. But it's just one of those things. So
can we speak about that for a little bit? So I know one thing has been like a lot of people play. I think they're called like couch co-op games.
Yeah, couch co-op.
So do you and your girl have like a game or a couple games y'all play together to kind of like bonding time, or is that more like your time to have like for you?
So with her not being into it, I'm trying to kind of ease her into it because like there's not. I mean, there's a bunch of couch co-op games that like I want to try, but like I haven't really got there yet. So like we'll play. Like her thing is like we'll play like Mario Kart, Mario Party on the Switch and stuff like that, and then usually she'll watch me play the game. So like I'll like. Whenever we're on FaceTime and stuff, like I'll be on my iPad and then I'll stream it. Like there's this series called the Dark Picture Anthology, and it's pretty much just like one of those interactive games where like it's a little bit of gameplay, but it's like you make decisions and stuff. So like it's one of those games, and like she likes those because she can kind of sit back and not really play. I like usually what I do is like I'll do all the gameplay stuff, and then I let her make the choices. Unless I feel like she's going to make the wrong choice that I don't want her to make, then I usually like, hey, I'm going to take this one over. But like, that's what we've been playing currently. And then, like I said, there's a couple games that we are interested in playing together. So, but like usually she tries to beat me in everything we play and it's not happening. So, it's one of those things. I'm too, and I tell her, go ahead.
How many video game tournaments have you entered and won? Like, have you, like, what are your stats? Do you have trophies? If so, let's see them.
Nah, I don't got any trophies. Actually, well, I can show a little something. Hold on, let me go get it.
Yeah, let's see it. Yeah, I haven't. I used to play a lot when I was a kid,
I
like all the time, but
Mhm.
I haven't played for since I was probably like 14.
Dude, I had my era like the Gears of War and stuff. I'll play like a fighting game because I feel like Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat, and Tekken, and like Capcom. A lot of the fighting games are
Yeah.
still general, but like I mean, I'll play like NCAA.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
play like that. Sport. I think
Yeah.
sports games. It's always easy one to go to
All
as
right.
well.
So,
Yeah.
this is just a bundle of stuff. I'm gonna just try. So like this is like, I
Okay.
went to One Piece Day in Dallas. That
Okay.
was back
Uh huh.
back when I played One Piece. I don't
Okay.
remember. This is
Did you
like
win
another
that
one.
tournament?
Like,
Oh,
no,
okay,
no, no,
these are
no, no.
badges of entry. Oh, cool.
Yeah, this is a bunch. Yeah, this is DreamHack. I think this. I don't remember what year this was, but this was 2017. This was in Austin
Okay.
when they had it.
And
This is
forgive me,
another
but
one.
those are the names of the games or the tournament names?
Oh, the tournaments. So
Oh, okay.
I played a bunch of stuff. So like outside of, like I said, you can see like this one was at the Kalahari.
Oh,
So
sure, yeah.
yeah, I played Smash for
Kalahari
that
has
one.
video game tournaments. That's cool.
Yeah, but this is probably
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
if I think of probably my most prestigious ones, it would be Evo, which is the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. I went in 2016.
Where's that?
That one's in Las Vegas.
I'm like it has to be Vegas. That was
Yeah,
okay.
and then
So
this
I
one,
went back
this
there.
one, this is when I used to play Disney Lorcana, which is the trading card game. I went to the Fort Worth one. This was in 2024. But I got a bunch of them.
Okay.
Like it's a bunch of little. I mean, most of them are at like conventions and stuff, but like I always try to compete because I mean I like competing. It's
Talk
kind of
about
fun.
trading cards because you're also in that scene in that world too.
Yeah, yeah. Even though I retired for a little bit, but
Okay.
so I got into trading cards kind of. I want to say my last year or so in college. I had
Mhm.
obviously started out. I mean, I grew up on trading cards, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I never played them, just collect them. Like what I'm saying, like most kids, like we didn't go out and play them.
Oh no, I played
So
Yu-Gi-Oh. I went to the
yeah,
shops on
no,
Saturday.
I don't think. I think I played it maybe a little bit, but like not to the extent of me like going to a card shop and playing it. Maybe like amongst my friends, but obviously without us knowing the rules and stuff. So yeah, Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh was like my childhood, and then yeah, at the end of like my last year of college, I got into Magic the Gathering, which is everybody's kind of first card game. So I played that amongst my my colleagues and stuff, and then we started. That's when I started kind of going to card shops and playing it. But we were it was still kind of like the same group because I played
Yeah.
Commander, and that's usually like a 3 to 4 man pod. So it would just be like me and my 3 friends, but we'll just go play at a card shop outside of campus. So then once I graduated, everybody kind of moved away and stuff. I kind of stopped playing it, but then I kind of liked like the feeling I got when I did play it. Because backstory, I mean, I don't know if either one of y'all have ADHD, but it's ADHD is really hard to focus.
Mhm.
Like you either not you can't focus or you hyper fixate on
Are
something.
you hyper focused? Yeah.
Yeah. So I and card games is kind of like it kind of helped with my brain kind of because you're thinking about so many different things at once. Like okay, if he does this, how do I proceed? Like you're thinking of all these play lines.
So it's kind of like chess.
Yeah,
A little bit like
essentially,
playing
yeah,
chess.
because you're like, okay, if he moves this piece, how do I
Yeah.
react? And then if I move this
okay.
piece, reacting, it's like a back and forth thing. Like you're having
Yeah.
that battle with your brain, but it's
Got
like
it.
you're so fixated on it that it's like, it's soothing to you. And then, like I said,
Right.
I'm competitively natured, so anything that I can compete in, I'll usually do it. Because I feel like me personally, like if I'm not trying to, I won't say try to be. Well, I'll say trying to be the best at it. That I to a point, I say it's a waste of time. Essentially,
Respect.
like I know I can't be the best at everything, but I at least try, at least amongst my peers or like my city or something like that, like the area I'm in. And if I feel confident enough, then the best in the world or Texas or something like that. So, yeah, I got into Magic, and then that I stopped. I want to say I stopped playing card games for maybe about a year or so, maybe about
Why'd
a
you
couple
stop?
couple months or so. Cause like I said, I graduated and all my friends moved away, so I kind of went to the card shops like by myself to kind of still play Magic, but it's kind of not
Okay.
the same. And then the trading card community,
Right.
especially the Magic community, is kind of it's not all bad, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of like it's kind of like a clique. Like, let's say,
Okay.
like you're trying to like get into a new group, but they already have their established group. So like, let's say, if,
Okay.
like I said, commander's like 4 to 8 people or 3 to 8 people,
Mm.
and like let's say most people play in fours to kind of make it even. But like,
I
let's
got
say
it.
one of their homeboys don't show up, and you kind of try to fit in there. It's kind of it's kind
not
of weird.
quite as
Yeah.
you can't interface like you can with an RPG where you just step
Yeah.
into the world and
Yeah, it's
all
kind of
good.
weird because they're like, it's kind of my clique, or they see who you play and they're like, all right, I don't want to deal with this or whatever. So, like I said, I
Okay.
stopped, and then obviously with life after college, I'm trying to maneuver and stuff. So that happened, and then I got into Disney Lorcana because it was kind of fairly new. So I was like, let me dive into that. And then I started playing that at this shop in Heights. And then I kind of fell in love with it and made a bunch of friends off of it and stuff. And then that was kind of like my card game that I played for, I think I played it for a year and a half, 2
So,
years.
Dre,
So
can I
then
ask
that's
you
when
about
I
that?
started.
Because
What's up?
I've seen you play. I've seen you post about it a lot online. And for
Yeah.
me, as someone who like kind of follows it, can you kind of
Mhm.
explain the game? Because I'm just gonna say, as someone who's like outside looking in,
Yeah.
was it like Kingdom Hearts mix of Magic the Gathering and I was trying to figure out the game itself.
So
Play.
I would say, all right. So that now I got to think. All right. So essentially, in that game, like Magic is like life based. So you try to get somebody's life down to 0, kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
Kind of like the
Lorcana,
music industry.
facts.
yeah, yeah. But so with Lorcana, you count up. So it's a thing called lore. So you count up to 20. 20 is what each opponent has to reach. So it's not like you're not really essentially. I mean, you can fight, but you're not really essentially fight. You're trying to sit here and quest so you can get lore. Like each card has a certain lore count, and there's certain things that you can do to reach that lore. So like you can either play a deck that doesn't really interact, like you don't really have to battle, let's say, and you can just kind of just quest your way to 20. And there's some that's all based on like, okay, if I kill this, like let's say I kill Cinderella, I get a lore point, stuff like that. So my personal favorite thing, and this is unique to the game, is there's so in Magic there's a mana system, and that's part of your if you play Commander, your 100 card deck. But you have to hope that you draw into it. So there's a thing called mana screwed, where like let's say you can go multiple turns without being able to play a card because you have no mana.
Mm.
Lorcana does the opposite, where there's certain cards. There's like a symbol. Actually, I have a card that I can kind of show you. I have the big card. I don't have any of the other cards. Let me take it
This is
out.
cool.
I have 2 examples.
That's on that like really know
Goodness
Yeah,
gracious, let me grab
better
some.
than me. Just rambling about nothing. Open my mic.
All right, so here we go, because I still have these surprisingly. All right, so this is Mulan right here, and then this is like,
that's fire. Mulan.
and then this is like
The
Hades.
TV, the movie, right?
Yeah. So right here, so this is part of the mana system. So right here, there's this symbol that shows right here. Don't worry about the cost, but just a symbol. So both of these have different symbols.
Okay.
Mulan symbol lets you know that you can ink it. So what ends up happening is, like, let's say I draw my turn, and then I'm like, all right, I need each turn you can put down 1 mana unless stated otherwise. So Mulan can go into your inkwell, and she pretty much doesn't exist in the game, but as a mana resource. So this prevents you from not being like having multiple turns where you don't play. Hades, you can't put him in your inkwell unless there's a special card that say, hey, you can ink any card or stuff like that. So that's the unique thing. So what ends up happening is when it comes to like deck building, which is another strategy, more advanced stuff, which is, like I said, my second favorite thing of playing trading card games, because it's kind of like, so I'm trying to remember what the limit was in Lorcana. I think it was like 50 or 60. And most card games, you can't go over the maximum. So like, let's say most card games, all right, you can only have 50 cards. Lorcana, they don't care.
Oh.
So like there's a minimum. So like let's say I don't remember exactly the minimum because it's been so long. I want to say like 50, 60, but you can go over that. So some people will play decks that are like 68, 64. It just depends on how you want to build your deck. Obviously, in a more meta or more like competitive, you don't really try to go over that unless your deck benefits from it. So like you might have somebody go in there with an 80 card deck and you're like, it might work for them, but if they're playing for fun, then it might work. But if they're going to like a tournament or a local, it may not work. So there's stuff like that. So Lorcana was like what really like, I guess, brought in my love for trading card games. Like Magic was fun, don't get me wrong. Magic's fun with the right group. I tell everybody that. I said if you ever want to get into Magic the Gathering with the right group, it's an amazing game. Now if you try to play anywhere else outside your group, results may vary.
Very true. Very true.
But like, yeah, Lorcana was like what really got my love into it, and it kept my competitive nature alive outside of fighting games because I wasn't really playing fighting games too much. Because like I said, when I went to Evo in 2016, it wasn't. I mean, I won't say it wasn't really expensive. It wasn't like super expensive.
Well, Vegas is expensive in general.
But yeah, like now for me to go, like just to get the tickets, like I'm spending like 200, 300, and then you got to think about the plane ticket and then the hotel and all the other fees. Because I mean, running these tournaments are expensive, obviously, and then you're running a tournament in Las Vegas, so you got to think about that on top of that. So I haven't been to Evo since then, but I've been to a couple other ones. Like I think Texas has like one that's out in Houston that I've been meaning to go to. So I'm gonna have to try to go out there eventually. But
how many people go to Evo? How many players?
I don't remember what the cap is, but like, so
it's thousands though.
Yes, because like there's you got to think about it. So there's players, and then there's spectators, and then there's there's the people that just go and watch.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a bunch of that, and then you got to think about like there's sometimes like I think there's some celebrities that go too. Like the year I went, Lupe Fiasco was there, so that was cool to see. So, but yeah, like I said, it's a very prestigious tournament. So you get a bunch of people that go there and show up. So it's like thousands and thousands of people in this hotel. I don't know if you've ever seen it, ever been, but it's if I'm not mistaken, it's still at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. Yes. If you ever been there, but yeah, it's in that conference room. The year I went, so everybody's in that conference room. They have their stages where the people play, like people that play on stream. They have their stages separated, and they have like the bring your own console booth, and then they have all the vendors, and then they have like the free play areas. Like they have a bunch of stuff going on, so it's very high speed. Me nowadays, I don't do it. Like, I mean, I'll probably go to it because like out of city. Like if it's out of state, then I usually would go and enjoy myself. But like these days, like if it's in Texas, like if I'm like not competing and like I'm not really trying to like watch it, like I said, my homeboys aren't in or anybody that I like, I usually just go home. Like that's usually what I do. Like if it's in Texas, like I'll go and compete, make my rounds for a little bit and go home. But obviously in Vegas, there's more to do. There's stuff like that.
Are there people, and this is probably an obvious question, but there's people who, professional gamers, that they play the circuit, maybe like a golfer or something. They go out on tour, they play the circuit, and this is their living. They make enough from winning tournaments and sponsorships to where this is what they do. They're professional players.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of people. I would say there's maybe about, if I had to think from what I know, there's maybe about, I'll say like 5 or 10% that actually make a living depending on how they live. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure there's more, but it just depends on how you live.
It's very good to add in there.
Yeah.
Depending on how they live.
Yeah, depending on how you live. Because like I said, most of them, like, they'll live with like other streamers or like other players and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of them that just have families and all that. But they're so prestigious. Like, they're pretty much the OGs. Like, they're so prestigious and they're so known and they're still good at what they do that they make a living off of it. Like, but like most of them now, like, there's only maybe a small handful that can just make a living just off competing alone. But most of them, obviously, with sponsorships and streaming and content
Okay,
creation, I
yeah.
mean, that adds all the revenue. Like
Yeah.
I would say the only person I could probably think off the top of my head that can make a living is Daigo. He's the only one, but he's been doing it for so long. Like
Okay.
I've been watching him for so long since I was a kid. That's how long he's been in.
That's
He's
wild.
probably one of the few because when you think of Street Fighter or fighting games, you think of him. There's like 3 people. Yeah, it's probably him. Yeah, Daigo, Justin Wong, and Sonic Fox. Sonic Fox is probably like the new gen. These are probably the 3 people that, like, if you think of fighting games, you'll probably think of those 3
That's great.
because they're just the biggest.
Well, that's got to be interesting too, because in situations like, let's say chess. Chess is a game that hasn't changed for millennia, right? So chess masters are just playing the same game. When it comes to these people, they put a new game out, like or new rendition every probably 2 years, right? In some situations,
Yeah.
so they have to kind of like keep reproving themselves. That's got to be kind of interesting.
Right.
But I guess it's the
Yeah.
competitive nature, because like you were good at Mortal Kombat 9, but when Mortal Kombat 10 drops, are you still like that good?
So
that's gotta be kind of interesting.
so I guess to break that down, there's some people that can, like, obviously, like, once you're amazing at one game, I'll say it's very easy. Like, a lot of these people are just naturally talented. Like, they can pick up a fighting game and then be amazing. Now, how I look at it is personally, like, each one of these people is like rare for most of them to be like amazing at each game they play. There's only maybe like a handful of people, but obviously most of these people are so good that they can easily go into a fighting game they never played before. So like, let's say if I'm like a top Mortal Kombat pro and then I go try to play something that's a little different, like Tekken or Marvel vs. Capcom, like the general understanding of a fighting game kind of transfers over, but then I have to adapt it to whatever fighting game I'm playing. So like
Right.
if I'm
sure a
a
lot of
Street
this-
Fighter player, I
yeah.
have to be like, okay, how does Tekken play? Like,
Right.
how can I translate my skills to Tekken and then go from there? So like there's a few people that can transfer over. A lot of them kind of just stick
Yeah.
and dominate their games, but there's some people that's like, oh, I can play 10,
Right.
10, 12 games, like fighting games that I've just played so long that it's engraved in my brain. So
Well,
it just
I'm sure
depends.
there's strategies that are they're ambiguous. They're
Yeah.
agnostic from the game. They just work across a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Yeah, there's
And
a
you're
few that
basically
translate.
block,
Yeah.
attack. Yeah. Strategy.
Yeah, but like you just have to, like I said, apply it to that game's engine. So like
Right.
obviously, Street Fighter or Tekken, one of them's a 3D, 3D arena, and one of them's just 2D left and right. So like, but the concept's still kind of
Right.
same, like the same. Like,
Yeah.
okay, there's still frame data. There's still, okay, if I do this move, how negative or plus it is, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like there's basic stuff that translate. So I tell people generally, I said, if you can play one amazing,
Yeah,
it's pretty
makes sense.
easy to, translate over.
That boy knows his craft. He said, that's
Uh-huh.
3D, that's
Look,
2D,
look,
that's
look,
4D.
I-
Don't mess with me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, nah, hold on. I ain't say all that now. Like, look, there's some of them, like, I try to dabble in all of them, like all fighting games.
So
but there,
if
like,
I
there's
was
some
really
that I'm
good
okay.
at Mike Tyson boxing, which was my game, do
Uh-huh.
you think I can parlay those skills into Tekken
I mean, you
10?
could. No, I mean, you could. You just have to, like, once you get the understanding of the system of the game itself. So, like, obviously, like, boxing. Yeah, I mean, there's still similar stuff. There's people that box in there. Like, it's still like
Yeah.
a jab is a lot quicker than throwing a hook. It's kind of the same thing with a fighting game. Like,
Right.
throwing out
Yeah,
a light
true.
punch is a lot quicker than throwing out a heavy punch, and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
You just have to break it down into layers and translate it. And
Yeah.
not every skill is going to translate too. I don't want to sit here and tell you like every
Ooh,
skill
that's a
that
good
you
one.
know is going to translate.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
the general stuff is, like, all right, like obviously, obviously like boxing games like Fight Night and all that stuff. It's a little different because you got the stamina system and all that stuff.
Right.
But your goal is to knock the person out. It's the same thing in a fighting game. You got the health
Yeah,
bar.
true.
You just have to
Yeah.
be like, okay, if I do this combo, how much damage is it gonna do? And then there's just a
Right.
whole bunch of different variables. Like obviously, like let's say in Fight Night,
Yeah.
if they throw a hook and you weave and then you hit them with a hook back, it does they lose a little more, stamina because, they already exhausted that. So it's like, like I said, there's small stuff
Okay.
here and there that translate. But yes,
Yeah.
you can. I mean, you just gotta learn.
Yeah.
So I have to ask. You said you came and competed with us. You're gonna come to our next contest. So I see now, and I was telling B this kind of leading up to this. You've been going around to a lot of the card shops and comic book shops and kind of doing content around them. So is that like a new venture you've been doing? Because you've been on it for a while. Like because I remember. Like I've even seen you around doing it for a minute, but it's just interesting because now you're kind of going around and giving your expertise, and that's been really cool shops you've been going to. So kind of talk about how that's been going for you.
So I guess I couldn't personally. So, well, actually, it'll go back to Christmas because, like I said, I started doing it very, very recent because I wanted to do something else. Because, like I said, I stopped playing card games, so I was like, all right, I need something that kind of keeps me. I won't say keeps me occupied, but something that brings me joy. Because, like I said, I stopped playing card games, so I'm like, all right, I have my video games. That's always gonna be there, but like something that kind of gets me out and gets me like somewhere. Which, like I said, card games I was pretty much playing like twice a week at card shop stuff, so I was always out. So I was like, I kind of need something that I can do. And like I said, I've always been a fan of like content creation. Like I said, I watch a lot of content creators. I'm surrounded by a bunch of them. Like I pay attention to the scene. It's cool. And like I said, I used to stream back in college, but obviously, trying to do school and do that, it's kind of difficult. So I kind of just stopped doing streaming. And like I said, I'm like most of us, we're all big consumers of, social media. So like I watch a bunch of stuff. And like Christmas, actually I have it right here. Let me see. Let me pull it out without messing up my collection. So as I stated before, so I'm a big Sonic fan. So I've always wanted to get the comics. So my girlfriend for Christmas, she got me the box set of the first, I think it's the first 3 volumes.
I thought that was just one book. That's actually the set.
Yeah, so it's the first 3 of the Sonic the Hedgehog, IDW publishing collection. Because I told myself, I said, as a big fan of Sonic, like I kind of want to start collecting the books. So I've always been interested in them. I just didn't, I didn't have my own spot. So like now that I got my own spot, I can do whatever I want. So like I can have my nice little, gaming art and all that stuff up. So I was like, you know what, I want to get a bookshelf and do this. But I said I kind of want to start getting into comics. I have a lot of friends that are, comic book fans and stuff. So she got me that for Christmas, which kind of ignited me wanting to do the content with it. Because I was like, you know what, I can go around. So my original goal, this was my original goal. I was going to go to each store or each card shop that I can go to. Obviously in Texas first, because I don't travel too much. But go to each card shop and try to find each a new edition of the volume. So like obviously I started out with 1 through 3. I was going to just find 4, 5, 6 and keep counting till I had all of them. But I was like, you know what? That may be difficult because like I might have to skip some weeks. But then I was like, you know what? Instead of me focus, I can still focus on that, but add other comics into the mix. So then that's when I was like, okay, I can buy one Sonic one and buy another random comic just so I can kind of, have more content to shoot. Mm-hmm. So I originally wanted to do it every week, which I was like, it was fun at first, but then I was like, there's going to be some weeks I ain't going to be able to do it. Like, obviously, with Valentine's Day and then, my girlfriend's birthday was Friday. So I've been busy this month. So I ain't really been to as many. I think I've been to maybe like 1. And then the shop that I've been to that I recorded it, I went back there to get another copy. So, and I was like, yeah, me having to drive to a different city, because I didn't want to do multiple in the same city, like back to back. So I wanted to break it up. So like, like Killeen has a couple, but I was like, instead of me doing, Killeen, I could do like Killeen and then Waco and then do Killeen again, or like kind of break it up. So I was like, that will probably be better. But then I was like, you know what? I said, that's a lot of card shops, 4 card shops a month every weekend. And I was like, there's going to be some weekends I ain't going to want to do it or be able to do it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it as needed and then just go whenever I feel like it. And then like I was starting to build my collection so fast that I was like not really reading them as fast as I was buying them. So I was like, I want to like sit and like read them a little bit. And then like once I get to a decent point, then I'll start buying more. So, and then I guess the big thing was like, I mean, there's people, I think I've seen a couple people that's doing it now that I've like, now that I've started, doing the, recording the videos and stuff. but like it's more on like a grander scheme. Like, you know, they're doing it on YouTube and it's like a, you know, 10-15 minute video, but like not kind of like short form where it's like a minute or so trying to condense it.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? From what I'm seeing, like it's a lack of stuff like that. Cause like I was originally gonna do it for trading card shops. Cause I mean, there's some people that do it, but that's not really their main focus. Like if they happen to be at the card shop, then they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna talk about my experience. But they weren't really doing it like in city card shops. They were doing like let's say I have my main card shop in like let's say Temple, Texas. Like I obviously wouldn't go there and record because I know the shop. But like let's say I'm out of town and like Austin or something, I would go there and be like, I would record and then be like, do that. But I was like, you know, me, I like since I'm fairly new to, you know, the comic book hobby, every comic book store I go to is new to me. Cause I ain't never been to any of them. You know, even when I got those, like I may have randomly went into them, but like I never really like looked. You know, I was probably looking for something else like, you know, Funko Pops or, you know, figures and stuff like that. Or like I would go and look, but I never would actually be like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the Sonic ones. I'm looking for, you know, the Static Shock, all that stuff. You know, like I'm looking for stuff like that. So then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should make something fun out of it. So then that's when I was like, you know what? I'll start doing that. And then, like I said, you know, I think video editing is an amazing skill to have. Like it's very difficult. Like some days I'd be like, hey, no way. I don't know how people do this. I see why people hire editors. But like I said, with me having ADHD, it keeps me focused. And I feel like it gives me something that I can kind of like fix on. But then when I see the end result, like, you know, I appreciate it. And then, you know, and I like getting feedback. Like I used to not be the person that like getting criticism, but like I like getting feedback when it is necessary.
Facts.
Yeah.
Because like some people like I said, some people don't know how to give feedback. Some people just say, hey, this sucked, and then, you know, that's it. Like somebody's like, hey, like for example, my first video, you know, people can hear my voice, but they said the music was too loud. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna tweak it, you know, and I'm gonna listen to how it sounds, you know, like me listening through my phone, me listening to my computer, like just different media types. And just seeing like how it translates. So like obviously me listening to it like through my headset and my computer speakers is gonna be different than my phone. So then I have to, you know, edit the video and then, you know, import it to, you know, transfer it to my phone and then listen to it and then see how it sounds. And then if I don't like how it sounds on my phone, then I go back, tweak the, you know, the volume and stuff like that and keep going back and forth.
Yeah,
dude.
So then there's like
so
stuff like that.
man.
Yeah.
Because
It's difficult.
especially like I'll have a song and then like you get it from the studio. Okay, I gotta hear it because and I think Sean Kingston said it. It was like most people hear a new song in the car first or in their headphones. So,
Yeah.
like, those are the two most important tests you can do. You know what I'm saying? So and then after that, it's like okay, well nowadays everyone uses their AirPods. It's different than AirPods. Using like over the head speakers, and I mean. It's just crazy how people digest media. And it was crazy because when I listened to it, I had it like on low volume, so I heard it, but I was like, oh, it's because my volume's low when I heard your first one. Like, that just made I didn't even think until I went back and did it, man. But dude, it's been cool seeing you doing stuff, man. Cause hey, I went to card shops as a kid, played Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's funny you talk about Magic because you're like, I do remember playing Yu-Gi-Oh with like people when I was probably like 10, and then grown men, and even it was kind of intense. But it was still somewhat of camaraderie. That Magic table, cutthroat.
They be, especially if they don't know you. They're cutthroat. Like if they don't know you, they're like, all right, we gonna take this guy out because we don't know what he's capable of. Like obviously in your friend group, you're like, all right, I know what my friend plays. I know kind of how he plays, so it's a little easier. But yeah, if you go in there, they're cutthroat. Like they're, you know, which I don't mind it. But then after a while, I'm just like, all right, man. Like because like. Commander's more of a casual format. So like they have a competitive format, but you gotta that's for the rich people, the people that's been playing the game for so long.
Yeah.
That they accumulated all the cards. Those decks are like $1,000+ I ain't up there. Right. You know, I'll go in there with my little $200 deck and then I'll be okay. So but I wanted to get into it because I said, you know, I'm spending all this time every week. Like I might as well something that motivates me to be better each day. Cause like if I go and I'm like just having a good time, I'm not gonna make changes to my deck. I'm not really gonna do too much. But like, let's say I go 1 week and somebody just I get smacked up. I'm like, all right, what's wrong with my deck? Like, all right, what are these people playing? Like, all right, let me make all these changes to my deck so that next week isn't the same. That's why I like competitive things, because it makes you think a little differently. Like, and it's fun to me. Like, some people don't think it's fun. Like, you'll hear people complain about, gamers that like are like super serious in every game they play. But my mindset is like, bro, I'm spending, especially with games now, they're like 70, 80, like 60, 70 bucks. I said, bro, I'm spending this much money. I'm not finna go in and I'm not gonna enjoy getting smacked up every time I play. Like, I wanna, like, there's gonna be moments where there's gonna be people better than me, or like I might slip up and have an off day. But I'm not going in to be like, hey man, I'm just here for a good time. Like, I'm trying to go in there, do what I gotta do, and have fun doing it. I don't think losing is fun. There's no aspect that I think any form of losing is fun. Like, learning when you lose, like, I would rather, like, I don't mind losing. I used to be a sore loser. Like, everybody grows out of that phase. But like, now I'm more so like, the only time I really get mad at losing is, one, if it's not my fault, and two, if I know I'm better than the person I lose to or people I lose to, then that's what makes me mad. Other than that, like, if I lose to somebody that's like equally skilled, or like, I know that me and my squad, or just me is having an off day, then like, I understand, But yeah, I hate losing people that's worse than me, or like, I know I should have won, and I lost because of something I did. Like I said, cause we're our worst critics. So if I'm like, all right, I slipped up right here, so I would be even more mad. Cause I'm like, man, I really like let myself down and let my squad down, and I ain't gonna hear the end of it, because I know how my friends are. Like, my friend group, we ruthless to each other. We all love each other, but we call each other out. We, you know what I'm saying. We do what typical boys do. We talk our trash. Man. You know what I'm saying? But like, hey man, like, hey, what you did, like, that was trash. Like, don't do that again. And we have our back and forth. But yeah, it's stuff like that.
But in here, I'm gonna let you know that was trash.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, yeah, I'm gonna just let you know, like, hey man, and then we get back to it. So that's just the tidbit. So yeah, any time I get a chance to compete, and it's something that I at least know, I'll do it.
Well, we look forward to seeing you at the next tournament, man.
Say facts, man.
I'm gonna be there.
And thanks for jumping on our pod today.
Of course.
Appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your history and your experience. I love the passion that you have for what you do. It is something that I hope anybody watching finds something that you have that much passion for, that gives you something to channel. Like you're saying, it gives you an opportunity to put that into something that is community oriented and connects you to other people in a way that's fun and competitive. And that's great, man. So thanks again.
I tell people, man, and I let me say one last thing. Yeah, I tell people, man, like, life is hard. You gotta you gotta have something outside of the simulation, like outside of waking up, going to work. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you got wife and kids or whatever, vice versa, however you roll, like, you need something outside of that keeps you like going, like something happy. Like I said, somebody, I hear a lot of people say that, like, you need something to do between your 5 to 9 or whatever time you go to sleep. Like, you need something, like, that's your time. Like, your 9 to 5 funds your 5 to 9. That's how I look at it.
Also,
yeah.
So,
definitely.
That's why, I keep doing what I do. And like, I just find something like my little outlets that keeps me going, what I'm saying, outside of, my 9 to 5 busyness and, all that stress and all that stuff. So.
Yep.
Heck yeah, man. Well, tell the audience where they can find you at, all your socials and everything, and your all that stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Dramadan on everything. DRAMIDAN. I mean, that's literally everything. There's nothing that's different. Like, I try to keep everything the same. I don't like that. But yeah, that's me on everything. I'm on. I mean, you'll probably find it. You can find my Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All that. I ain't on Snapchat. I don't do Snapchat no more. But other than that, I'm on everything.
You on Twitch or something, man?
I ain't on Twitch. I've been going back and forth. I've been thinking about it. Like that. Like, that's a story. That's a story. That's a story for another day. There's a reason why I stopped doing Twitch. That's a story for another day.
We'll have you back on after you win the second tournament.
Oh yeah. Look, and I need all the heavy hitters to come out. Like, not too heavy, but I'm saying heavy enough.
We about to go to, what was the place you told me to go? I went and checked out the other day.
Arcade UFO? Yeah, them boys.
We're gonna find some people. They was in there. That's what the video I just showed you. We're gonna get some people in there for you, man. We said your name and it kind of got quiet for a second.
They don't. Look, they don't. There probably maybe 1 or 2 people in there that know me, but it's been so long.
Awesome, man.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Say,
Of course, of
I'll message
course.
you on the DMs and everything. But blessings to us, man. Thanks for having on the podcast and everything. We
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you, man.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Awesome. Thanks, Trey.
Peace.
And thanks for
Of course,
watching,
of course.
everyone.
Oh, boy.